Sailor Uranus, Amara here, and today I'm going to make for the last time and probably be done with it, but no guarantee this would be the last time, why we don't do Google Hangouts or YouTube live streaming anymore. Now, apparently, a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you said it the last time you talk about this under warp here on YouTube and you didn't keep your word. Well, I never promised and I never gave my oath. Okay, so Google Hangouts, YouTube live streaming. Now, according to some people, apparently they're two different things, but I'm not here to discuss if Google Hangouts online or Hangouts are two different things or not. Obviously, one runs off the Google account and the other one runs off of YouTube. Now, in the past, when I told you there was a lot of problems about how it was time consuming, about how first you had to go into it, then you had to put your title description and tags, and you had to date your recording map and your recording location and all that other, your movie date and the recording, stead. Well, okay. And then you had to click begin and watch it load and go into it. And I also told you about how, well, you can't maximize it and, it's stuck on high definition and, it's in none of the features work, Well, there's a new one. So apparently YouTube gave YouTube live streaming a makeover. But obviously, it's still running through Google Hangouts. Obviously, it's still that, okay? I would bet you it's still Google Hangouts, but they gave it a makeover when you go into it. When you first go into it, the first thing you're greeted with is allow YouTube to use your likeness taker. So most likely, you have to still unmute it just for Google Hangout YouTube live streaming. Then you're meet to a weird sound, feedback coming out of your speakers. Okay? And I bet you, and who's gonna, sorry for clearing my throat, but that's gotta be pretty angersome right there. So every time you use Google Hangouts, YouTube live streaming, you gotta turn either the volume down. Yeah, and I bet you still got to put in a title and tags and a description. You still got to do all the other crap that obviously, So on top of the fact that now it's going to give you feedback every time you go into it at first, that's another reason why I don't want to use it. And why did I even use it in the first place? And I made a whole history explaining about how YouTube decided after so many years to get rid of YouTube webcam capture, and about, how there wasn't any program on this computer and I wasn't finding anything in the Google Web Store since I was putting in the wrong keywords. And I only used it temporarily until I could get something that would eventually allow me to use YouTube video file upload or YouTube movie upload, up for laid. I don't even know if that makes any sense. Obviously it does. I don't know. So getting to the point is you go to a program that basically is way too time consuming if you basically want to be able to get recording for making your movie or movie show one time, then for laying it and then being done with it. So now apparently on top of that, it has to make noise now. Now it has to make noise now. So I don't think I'm ever going to be using it again. Wow. So unless they can find, guess what? I'm not in the mood to, besides clicking. I'm not in the mood to turn my speaker down just to be able to go into YouTube live streaming or Google Hangouts. So no. And the fact that it's probably still stuck on high definition, you can't turn it off. The fact you probably still can't maximize it. And probably the fact that none of the other things on there work. And probably the fact that you still got to put your tile description and tags and date the movie stead and and put a date down for when you forlayed your movie. So anyway, at the end of the day, it's still not worth it. And I have no desire to use it anymore. Especially after now it's going to be making noise every time you go into it. Unless you turn off your speakers and then turn them back on. But then that would mean that half of the movie that you started making had no sound until you turned your speakers on. And geez. Anyway, that's about it for me. I'm Uranus, Amara. Hope you enjoyed this movie show.